everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Eric Brown, MOBO-Media, MOBO-Media. As always, I'm here to uplift, to hopefully inspire, educate, motivate, and then celebrate. Today I want to talk about, this is like a continuation of a previous story on a trip to Africa. And so I talked in a previous video about going to Africa out of the blue, man, just out of nowhere. We're heading to Africa and flew from Texas to Africa nonstop, and didn't stop until the doors of the airplane opened and you saw African military members, man. And so quite unique. But I want to talk about now is some of the things that were going on in Africa while I was there. It was an amazing experience, man. That's all I can say. They had us, first of all, they had us living in this really nice, like 4 or 5-star hotel on the Kenyan coast. Mombasa, Kenya. Mombasa, Kenya is where we were located. We were, because of the mission, because of the sensitivities around it, we were not allowed to wear military uniforms outside of being on a military base. And so anytime we traveled from the hotel to the place where we had to work, we would take our uniforms in a bag and roll in civilian clothes and be escorted over there by security and a shuttle and everything like that. And so for me, what immediately came to mind in Africa to me was funny was when I really got a chance to get out and see the people. The first thing I noticed, man, is people that look like people back in the States. It was just the craziest thing. It's really hard to describe the feeling that I felt, but literally you be like, is that? I mean, literally they look just like some of the people, back in the States. And it just shows you how strong the bloodline is, man. The Kenyan people were great people. I'm going to stop saying Africans because they're not Africans. They're from the African continent, but they are Kenyan. Kenyan is the nation that they belong to. Great people, compassionate people. Got a chance to become friends with quite a few of them. Got a chance to go to some of the African villages, which a lot of people were afraid to do, particularly some of the white guys. And so us brothers, man, a little small group of brothers we had, man, we hang tough and we go into the African village and talk to them and share some of our experiences in the States, and they share with us some of their thoughts on us in the States. Poor, very poor, a lot of poor people, a lot of poor Kenyans there. And so I found myself giving away a lot of things to them. They have a lot of African wooden carvings and things like that out on the beaches, because the hotel we stayed in was like on the coast. And so the thing is, they were so in need of things. They would take anything from socks to old shirts to old batteries, believe it or not. Old batteries are worth so much over there because somehow they can, I don't know how they do it, but they can recharge them and get some more juice out of them. But I was always one to, man, go find stuff to give them because they were so impoverished. And I looked at the things I have, seeing the condition they were in, the things I have didn't mean that much to me. And so I felt they could use it more so than I could. I mean, I had better access to it back in the States and things like that. But I was in Africa for a total of, the first time, this is like the first of about 3 or 4 times I had to go to Africa. But for this first time, I was there for a total of 72 days. 72 days. And didn't know when I was going to leave. I didn't know when I was going to leave. As I mentioned in the previous video, hell, I didn't know I was going there until the plane took off 2 hours into the flight. They told us where we were going. So when we got there, we had no idea of when we were going to leave. But we knew that there were a lot of things going on at the time, particularly in Rwanda. They had the Rwanda genocide going on. That's why we actually were there, to support that. Rwanda, Kigali, all these places, man, where you were having all this suffering and humanitarian crisis, what they call ethnic cleansing, I guess, what you call it. The Hutus and the Tutsis, I think, were the factions of Rwanda that were fighting at the time. And a lot of backstory on that I'm not going to get into right now, but I would just say it was a mind-blowing experience. And so much so that every day when I got off work, I never forget, I worked the night shift, so when I got off in the morning, I couldn't go right to sleep. I'd eat breakfast, and every day I remember for the first couple of weeks or so, I would go and sit by the water and take me a tablet out of the hotel room, just a blank sheet of paper tablet, and just write my thoughts on what I felt looking out into the water. And I still have those documents from 1994, man. From 1994 is when I was there. I still have those original documents, and at some point, I certainly want to share those, because I think when you read them, you'll realize the unique situation I was in, being in Africa, and what I thought of as looking out into the water. And I'll give you an example. Of one of the things I thought of looking out into the water. For some reason, there's a lot of anger looking at the water, knowing that the waters, in my ignorant young mind, the waters played a part in taking our African brothers and sisters from the continent, enslaved into other parts of the world. But at the same time, I look at those waters as saving grace, because it also was way back for Africans who had been taken many years earlier. And so interesting notes I took, and I would love to share those. In fact, I may even do a video where I just go line by line and talk about what I wrote down and why I wrote it down. But I think it would be it's going to be really interesting when I do present that. So I ask you to hang with me, subscribe with me, follow me, whatever you want to call it. I'm not forcing anybody to follow what I say, some of the things, the content I want to share. But I guarantee you, I'm staying away from negativity as much as possible, and I just want to make this a positive platform. And so my experiences in Africa, I think, will definitely open some eyes. And it's not everyone's experiences. This is my truth. So when I share this, just understand, you're talking about a guy, I probably was, 22, 23, you know what I'm saying, in Africa. Hell, I hadn't really fully gotten used to leaving Fort Worth, let alone, I had just come from being stationed in the Philippines for 2.5, 3 years. And all of a sudden I'm in Africa, out of the blue. And so, a lot to take in for a young black man coming out of Texas, but I'm so ready to share my experiences with that trip. And so until next time, man, y'all take care, and I look forward to sharing my experiences in Africa and the notes I took back in 1994. So with that, this is Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. No, this is Master Sergeant Brown, MOBO-Media. Master Sergeant Brown, MOBO-Media. Master Sergeant Eric Brown, U.S. Air Force, retired, 22 years of service. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.